Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a transmission code that can be a real head-scratcher. P0730, which stands for incorrect gear ratio. If you've seen this code pop up on your scanner, don't panic. We're gonna break down what it means, what cows eat, and how you can go about fixing it. So, what exactly is P0730? In simple terms, your car's computer, the transmission control module, or TC, is constantly monitoring the speed of your engine and the speed of your transmission's output shaft. It knows what the gear ratio should be for every gear. When the TCM sees a mismatch between the expected RPMs and the actual RPMs for a given gear, it says, "Hey, something's not right here," and flags the P0730 code. Essentially, the transmission is slipping. It's not holding the gear like it's supposed to. Now, this code is a bit different from others because it's a general code. It doesn't point to a specific gear like P07314 first gear or P07324 second gear. P0730 tells you that the computer has detected a gear ratio error, but it can't pinpoint which specific gear is the problem. It often shows up alongside other, more specific gear ratio codes. So what are the common symptoms you might experience? The most obvious one is the check engine light turning on. You might also feel the transmission slipping, especially during shifts. This can feel like a hesitation or a flare in RPMs between gears. Some vehicles will go into limp mode or failsafe mode to protect the transmission from further damage. This usually means you'll be stuck in one gear, typically second or third, and your speed will be limited. You might also notice harsh shifting, a delay when you put the car into drive or reverse, and potentially worse fuel economy because the engine isn't operating efficiently. Let's talk about the causes. What could be making your transmission act up like this? The most common culprit, and the first thing you should always check, is low or dirty transmission fluid. Fluid is the lifeblood of your transmission. It cools, lubricates, and provides the hydraulic pressure needed to shift gears. If the fluid level is low, there isn't enough pressure to properly engage the clutches, causing slippage. If the fluid is old, burnt, and full of debris, it can clog up the filter and small passages inside the transmission, leading to the same problem. Another frequent cause is a faulty shift solenoid. Solenoids are little electronic valves that direct the flow of transmission fluid to engage different gears. If one of them gets stuck open, stuck closed, or fails electronically, it can prevent a gear from engaging correctly, leading to a ratio error in the P0730 code. Of course, we have to consider internal mechanical problems. This is the more serious side of things. We could be looking at worn-out clutch packs, a failing torque converter, or problems within the valve body, which is like the hydraulic brain of the transmission. Over time, the friction material on the clutch discs can wear away, causing them to slip. The torque converter has its own internal clutch that can fail, also causing slippage. So, how do we diagnose this? First things first, check the transmission fluid. With the engine running and the transmission in park or neutral, depending on your vehicle, check the dipstick. Is the level correct? What's the condition of the fluid? If it's dark brown or black, smells burnt, or has metal shavings in it, you've likely got internal damage. If the fluid level is just low, top it off and see if the problem goes away. Sometimes you get lucky, and that's all it is. If the fluid is okay, the next step is to scan for other codes. P0730 rarely travels alone. If you have other codes like P0731, P0732, or solenoid-specific codes, that gives you a much better clue about where to look. If you suspect a solenoid issue, you can sometimes test them with a multimeter for correct resistance. However, accessing them often requires dropping the transmission pan. If you're already doing that, it's a good time to change the fluid and filter. While the pan is off, inspect it for excessive metal debris. A small amount of fine gray material is normal wear, but large chunks or a thick layer of sludge are bad signs. If all the external checks and simple fixes don't solve the problem, you're likely looking at an internal transmission issue. At this point, the job becomes much more complex and may require a transmission specialist. They have the tools and expertise to properly diagnose and repair or rebuild the transmission. To sum it up, P0730 means your transmission is slipping. Start with the easiest and cheapest fix. Check your transmission fluid level and condition. If that's good, look for other trouble codes to narrow down the problem. From there, you might be looking at faulty solenoids, or, in the worst case scenario, internal mechanical failure. I hope this video helped you understand the P0730 code a little better. It can be intimidating, but by following a logical diagnostic path, you can figure out the root cause. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe for more car repair guides. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.